Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Korean American Expat. Yep, today's subject is the average Korean guy versus the average Korean girl. Now, this could be a worldwide, you know, thing, but I'll just talk from the Korean side of this thing since I live here in South Korea, as many of you know. And yeah, I'm just pretty much based out of here for now till I come home in a couple weeks to the US. All right, so let's start with the average Korean dude, you know. Uh, and let's say this is like a working Korean guy, maybe makes a salary of 2 to 3 million a month, you know, which is about, close to 1,700 to like 2,600 US dollars. That's pretty much what a salary of a professional working, Korean guy. And of course, you know, with the, emergence of like, okay, expensive housing, housing is out of control. I mean, we're talking like, geez, minimum. I think the cheapest maybe what, 200,000, but I don't know. That was years ago, and I live in in the fifth biggest city in Daejeon, so I'm like, okay, and housing is just out of control. So for an average Korean dude, it's really tough. So like, if they want to find a girl to marry, they have to do this. They have to secure the apartment, and almost spend all of their savings on an apartment and then, a car. And it's really sad, because this is what he has to do. And most of them, it's hard to do. I mean, yeah, if you get into, the Samsung jobs, the LGs, the Hyundais, or a job that, pays a lot, like, and I even worked at, as I've said in my previous video, I worked at even Rail, not as an employee, but as an English teacher, because I get contracts. And yeah, I hear it all from the guys. I hear it all, like, yeah, it's just so expensive. And then even, the women that work there, they're like, yep, they're close to 30, and they're like, yep, I'm finally getting married. I'm like, cool. And I'm like, so is your guy working it? He goes, well, he works at another company. And these days, the kind of like, the 50-50 thing, you need two salaries to maybe even afford a home. And in this case, in Korea, it's apartments, because, yeah, it's a lot of 3-bedroom apartments. And I'll tell you this, I have not been inside of a Korean home. I mean, a Korean home. Every place I've been to, it's just been an apartment, and as I said in my other videos, when I was, here in the 80s, yeah, I actually was in an actual house in South Korea. I stayed, my family stayed at my uncle's house. It was an actual house with a dog, a backyard. But when I went to go see my uncle later, he lived in a 4-bedroom apartment on the first floor. So that's what his now. That's I'll go, where's the house? He goes, oh, it's been demolished, made room for apartments. So yeah, the average guy, and of course my uncle, he's like, I think in his 80s. He was lucky. He has 3 daughters, but that's another story, another video. But yeah, he did well for himself. And I think his wife was, just a housewife, because he was a professor. So back in the 80s, his salary was pretty good to house everything, and now he's just retired. And the funny thing is, he doesn't even know I'm here in Korea. So I'm just like, okay. But that's, mostly an average guy. Average guy today, it's not affordable. The housing is just so unaffordable. Even if you might work at Samsung or LG, it's just so expensive because it depends where, And just to let you know, a lot of these Korean guys, work at sometimes like here in Daejeon, like LG Chemical, and another thing is called land and housing. It's crazy. They all live in Seoul. They don't live here in Daejeon, maybe one or two, but a lot of them live in Seoul and they commute. So they stay like in what we call a kisusa, which is a dormitory. So that's where they live. So that's, you know, the average Korean guy. They're just trying to survive, just like everywhere else in the world, even of us in the States. But now, so I covered the average Korean guy. Now, let me cover the average Korean girl, okay? Now, if the Korean girl, and this is pretty much worldwide, but if the Korean girl wanted to get on Instagram and look at me, because, you know, they do Instagram here, just like everywhere else in the world, and especially, yeah, a lot of the girls do it, because why? Just lots of pictures, you know, and even sometimes, you know, the girls, like if I even go to a KBO basketball game and I end up in the front row, and I end up in the front row with a bunch of chicks, I'm like, why am I the only dude in the front row here? And it turns out all those girls are like big $5,000 cameras going getting pictures of their guy. So even on their Instagram, you know, they get pictures of a lot of the basketball players or just celebrities, because they're just has their $5,000 camera. But most of them, if they actually wanted to, you know, to like, okay, I want to get a high profile, which, you know, Korea is known for that, like the beauty standards, like, you know, even when like for example, the Dodgers came here last year, and this year they're in Japan, but last year they came to Korea, and then they're like, oh my goodness, the model, she came up in pitch. They're like all in all of it, you know. And I bet she does have an Instagram, but she's not the average girl. So, but if I'm an average girl, yeah, I could get on Instagram and okay, I could entertain the guys, especially, you know, if we're in Asia, we can get a bunch of guys from the West, you know, going, okay, what's up? We can get a bunch of guys from, you know, Europe and stuff like that. Now, for example, I remember this. She wasn't even, yeah, this girl was not even an Instagram model, but it just shows in general. One of the guys, his daughter, from when I worked an English job, she like was just, you know, messaging just to find like, okay, is there housing, or, you know, is there any jobs in Australia? And then one guy, oh my goodness, he's sitting there like, wait, you're moving here? I'll take care of you. I'll do all this. I'm just like, dude, you don't even know her. And the guy's all simping like, yeah, being the white knight, like, oh, take care of you. I'll give you everything. And I'm just like, oh. And then I told the director, like, the guy, like, no, don't trust it. Tell her to find her own stuff, find her own way. Don't stay at someone's house or whatever. Don't do it. So, yeah. And I was like, yeah, guys in the West are like, because, you know, our options are so limited in the West, it's like, yeah. So they're coming out to like the other countries or ages, like, you're coming here? But I'm just like, nope. Even if the chick comes there, you know, she's gonna have a lot of options. And even if like in Korea they say, oh no, the women are oppressed, no, they're not. They have more rights than ever, you know. Of course, you know, yeah, it's a conservative country, yeah, you know, you have, you know, like you're not really a single mother, or, you know, if you are, or you have an abortion, you could do it under the table, but, you know, that's another story. But yeah, but if you're an average woman, oh my goodness, you know, you get the world handed to you, you know. Like even some of the average girls that I knew, even the ones that are from the West that came to Korea to teach English, average chick. And, you know, we're out and about. Guess what? That average chick, or maybe even the average Asian American chick, right? All the guys are out there to talk to her. I'm just like, oh, here we go again. Because, you know, they're just so desperate, you know, out here in Korea. you know. And of course, you know, it is kind of a sausage fest at times when you go downtown and you're just like, okay. But yeah, an average chick, and sometimes even an average, you know, Korean chick that could speak some English, she gets hit up. Like I know one that, you know, kind of gets around the way, and that's all I'm gonna say. So I was just like, what the hell? So, and I'm just like, yep, all of you guys just gonna get played by her, and that's just the way it goes, and that's the story. You know, they're like, what the hell? Yep, she going around the way. Even average Korean chicks, they go around the way. So yeah, it is what it is. So I'm not hating it on it, but you know, I'm not gonna mess around with it. And you know, it's just, you know, what an average chick, they get pretty much bailed out. And you know, in my business of, you know, teaching at Hog Ones, majority are women. They usually prefer women, even if they won't, even if they're still posting the job. It's like, I would look at jobs, and I already talked to the lady. I'm like, and plus I wouldn't have taken the job anyway because they're paying a measly cheap, like $10 an hour. I'm like, go screw yourself. You want a native speaker on an F visa? Go screw yourself, you know. And I'm just like, nope. Yeah, they just want chicks. They want all girls. And some of these Hog Ones, academies, they're all girls. Like some of the academies, when I worked in the past, I'm the only dude there. I'm like, what the hell? Unless the only other dude I'll see is the van driver, you know, the average guy. And of course, they probably think he's probably less than average. I don't think he is. You know, he's a dude. He's just trying to make his living because, you know, the pay, you know, varies. But if you work at a Chaebol like Samsung, you know, Chaebol's like one of the big companies, which kind of runs Korea, you know. Yeah, you get the better salary there. But yeah, but if you're an average chick, you could have guys in your DM, you know, you have all these guys going, oh hey, or you know, sit here and go, oh, I'll eventually come out there, and it's whatever BS promise, you know, just like even the Philippines, oh my god, and she's a single mother average chick, and I'm just like, yo, let it go, man, let it go. I already know what's going on. You know, most of the times, like, I already know what's going on because, you know, I kind of like watch from the outside, and I'm like, nah, I'm not messing around. Don't mess with that. But that's what it is. But, you know, hey, you know, the guys that do know, yeah, we're checking out. The guys that kind of do or don't know, they might be down to simp a little bit. And that's a problem. But like the something, you know, I can't even say that on YouTube. That's what I found out. And you could even chicks could work at something and get paid, even if, you know, some of them barely make any money, but they can get paid. So it is what it is. But yeah, and then if you're an average Korean chick, and if you even speak, as I say, speak some English, oh my goodness, even if like the chick is like, you know, let's do a grading scale, like 8, 9, and 10s are like, you know, Halle Berry, Kelly Rowan, I'm quoting Kevin Samuels, or the eternal 7, we don't let them say 7. 6 is above average, 5 is average. You know, even if you can be a 5 average chick, you know, and you start checking your DMs, oh yeah, there'll be guys there like, oh yeah, what's going on? If I get DMs, it's maybe a Chinese chick, and I'm like, yep, I already know. I went through it once, like, just to see where she takes me, and I go, oh, you want me to invest in your stock? All right, bye, peace, block. So yeah, so you know, that's the sad thing. The value for women, they get approached, but for our value for men, we have to put in the work, and that's just the way it is. So yeah. But yeah, you know, average guy, average girl, and this could be worldwide, so it's not just in Korea, but I just want to talk about it. All right, so yep, if you have anything to say, I'll try to get around to the comments. I know all of a sudden, you know, even with I'm barely getting 90 subs, I'm getting so many comments, so hopefully I'll get around to it, because I have 3 YouTube channels now. So, and I have a job, so I'll try to get around to them as I can. But if you can, hit that like, subscribe, and comment. How is it for the average chick in your country or wherever you coming from? And yeah, how do you think, between the average girl and the average guy? And how much work does an average guy has to put, or how invisible are we? That's just a thing. So yeah. All right, so I'll see you again, and yeah, you guys all have a good one. So take care.